All right, guys, we're back. Treadmill Talks on this fine Tuesday morning. In today's topic, we're going to talk about what do you want? What do I want? Why do men not ask themselves this question? Why? We always worry about what others want first, don't we? And this video was spurred up by a conversation that I had with a gal friend of mine yesterday when we were out for dinner. And we were debating kind of the same topic, where it was interesting because she couldn't fathom, neither of us could fathom that both genders want what's best for them with no regard for the other one. Let's talk about it. Don't forget, guys, hit that subscribe button if you like the content on this channel. Let's grow the channel, get to 1,000 subs so that we can actually really focus on making this a more legitimate channel. All right. What do you want? It's kind of funny. It's the same thing with like the Notebook. It's like, what do you want, right? But it's like, what we were talking about last night was a marriage and what women and what men want and all that stuff. And, you know, most guys, you know, like the whole blue pill thing, most guys kind of grow up and live their life. It's almost conspiratorial and psyop-y to the level where we've all been there. I mean, if you're watching this video, I'm sure you've been there. If you're a younger guy, snap out of it while you can, right? We've all kind of lived our lives in service of others, right? Everything. Since the day we turned, 16, 17, our entire life is in the service of others. So when you turn 16, 17, and you start becoming like a young teenager, your parents start putting you to work, right? Hey, go mow the lawn, go change the oil in my car, go build this shed, just start working. And then, when you're a kid, you don't know any better. You're like, okay, sure, whatever. This looks fun, right? Then the work slowly starts getting normalized, doesn't it? And then you start dating when you're super young, 18, 19, 20. And when you start dating at that age, you figure that doing things for women is how you get them and keep them, right? And to a certain degree, it works at that age because nobody knows what the hell they're doing. So when you just, when you drive a girl around to hang out with her, it just, you don't think, you're not thinking about the value exchange or the investment exchange. You're just kind of still on autopilot doing what you're told. And then by this time, you start getting like your job, your corporate job, or you're going to college, and you're still kind of, you don't even know why you went to college. Let that one sink in. You don't even know why you got the job that you got, and you don't even know what career path you want yet. And yet, there you are, studying for something that somebody else told you was a good idea, right? So now, you're in your mid-20s, and you buy, or maybe your early 20s, and you buy your first kind of like real car. I mean, your first car that you buy is probably a beater for like $1,000, right, when you're a teenager, but in your mid-20s, you buy your first car, your real one. It makes you feel like you really accomplished something. Like so you've been grinding this entire time, you don't really know why, and you got your first car. And now is when the cycle really begins. Because in your mind, You're too young to know what the hell is going on. But in your mind, you're like, I feel like this car that I just purchased is a trophy of all my hard work. And it makes you feel good. And I bet you bought the car that you didn't like the most. You bought it thinking it would get you chicks. Right? You made the purchasing decision on that car based on what you think would be optimal to get women or to look like you have high status. What you really did was you just locked yourself into payments for the next 4 or 5 years. Okay. You don't realize that though. You think payments are normal. You're not aware of any of this yet. You're approaching your late 20s now. You buy a house. You buy an apartment, or you buy some kind of property. You buy a house of some sort, a home, I should say. And once again, as you're even going to the open houses, you're looking at which house will look the best and give you the most, what would look most attractive to the opposite sex. Or worse yet, you're already married by this point and you're buying a house with a woman and she is getting to choose all of the amenities of the place that you want to buy. And you're just along for the ride, baby. Why would you care what house you live in? It's kind of more your wife's thing anyway, right? You kind of want to just make her happy. You're not thinking too much about it, right? You still got your car, you got your baby, you're good, right? Then, you hit 30, you actually do buy a place. Now, you think, again, this house is a reward for the last 30 years of my slavery and hard work. I am rewarded with this piece of land or this home. What you don't know you just did is you just locked yourself in to 30 years of payments. 30 years of a prison sentence, of payments, of something that you might not have even wanted. But did you ever ask yourself what you wanted? So, you're approaching your mid-30s. Now, late 30s, let's say. You start pumping out some children. You start having kids. Now, you're thinking about retirement. You're thinking about the kids' college fund, the tuition fund. You're thinking about how to manage everything. You're thinking about how do we make this work? You're trying to solve the problem of making this family unit work. Have you noticed by now, you still haven't asked yourself what you wanted? Now your entire life, now you hit 40. Now, what you basically did out of your, to be fair, it's not like a shaming video. It's like the world and society never actually gives the guy, us men, 5 minutes to ourselves just to think about what the hell we even want, man. I encourage you to just take like 5 minutes by yourself, turn your phone off. What the hell do I want? What do I want? What do I want to do? Do you know what I'm saying? You're 40 years old now. You got another 20 years on that mortgage. Your car might be paid off, but by now it's already 10 years old. You gotta re-up that shit to feel good again, baby. Now you have kids. So what you did is you just locked yourself into payments because of the kids and the tuition and all that and the mortgage for another 25 years. Now, you are 65 years old. Maybe you have enough for retirement. Your kids are out of the house now. If you managed to stay married, congratulations through that hell of the last 40 years. You're 65 now. That wave of reality finally hits you. What have I done? What was I doing? That's not me saying kids are a bad thing or a house or a family or none of that. What I'm saying is you didn't know you had a choice. You did what you were told to do until you were 65 years old. Until society said, your job is complete now. You have birthed the next generation of slaves. You can go enjoy the next 10 years of your life before you die. When you're 65, now you're like, now what do I want? Brother, this shit is terrifying. And this shit is what 99% of men, this is their reality. Thankfully, I snapped out of it at age 38, 2 years ago. I'm like, what the hell do I want? And ever since then, it's been what I want. And I don't give a shit anymore. I am not going to live the rest of my life in service of others. I'm not gonna do it. I'm done. I've done that for 38 years, okay? I guess if you count childhood, let's say 20. 20 years has been in the service of others. Now, here's the thing. I just thought of it. In service of others doesn't necessarily mean you can't actually be in service of others. Like me making this video, I'm serving others in a certain regard. I'm serving you. Like in my tech channel, I try to combat misinformation. I'm serving people. But it's what I want to do. It's how I want to serve others. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a choice that I'm consciously making that I want to do. Do you know what I'm saying? It's the choice was not made for me. Now, that conversation that I was having with that girl last night, we were talking about marriage. And then we were, it's like, would you ever get married again, Jufus? And I'm like, I can't, it's impossible. Because the conversation was kind of like what each gender or what each person wanted, right? And she was saying how women want security and women, basically they want to feel protected and they want security above all else when they start approaching their mid-30s or whatever, or even early 30s, right? And then I was like, okay, fair enough. How do I give that to somebody? Or how do I give that to a woman without risking half of my life's work? And then she said prenup, obviously. And I'm like, that doesn't actually hold any water. And then long story short, what the conversation devolved into by the end of it was, so what she said was, if you love the woman enough, you should be willing to take the risk of giving her half your stuff to make her feel secure. And then I thought, what was the first thing that I thought? What do I want? Now, it's not that I don't want to get married. It's more, I don't want to take the risk. I don't want to do that. Because I don't see that I don't think that I should have to. So my counter argument was, If a woman loves me enough, then she should, if I tell a woman, hey, I will take care of you, don't worry about it, my word is that's my word. You need to trust me. Just the fact that you don't trust me, that you need a piece of paper, you need a contract to trust me. It goes both ways. That means you don't love me enough to take the risk either. And then the fascinating thing was this girl couldn't conceive of a reality where the man didn't do something in service of her. Like, she couldn't conceive of the reality that the man is doing what he wants. And it's fascinating. So this is like the psyop, like, conspiracy theory part of it, where, like, women, the more women that I talk to nowadays, women are kind of conditioned to expect to be served, and men are kind of conditioned to serve. And both genders, I feel like, don't even understand why they think that way. So is it genetic or is it conditioning? That's the thing. Or is it like, were we born that way? I don't know. Because you know what? Sometimes I'll struggle with this, even in the smallest of ways, man. For example, so let's say I'm out with my girl. This was the last one that happened, and I caught myself. The last one was, what would you do in this scenario? If you see this video, leave a comment down below. We're going on a trip somewhere, right? Or like a one day, we're going on a day trip. And it's about an hour drive away. And you hit a bridge, and there's like an accident on the bridge. And now, this actually happened. And now, you're gonna be in that lineup, in that bridge for 3 hours. Minimum. 4 hours maybe, in that gridlock to get to your day trip. So the thought that came into my head was, I don't want to do this. I'm gonna turn around and go home. I don't care about the trip that much. The other thought was, I should suffer in this lineup to make my girl happy. You see the conundrum there? Do you see what I'm talking about? Why did that second thought pop into my head? Why was that thought even there in the first place? Suffer to make her happy for her day trip. Why? Riddle me that shit. That's what I'm talking about. So even at my age, I still have that conditioning in there where I'm thinking of others before myself, man. We gotta expunge this shit. Now, I do think this is improving on a global scale to some degree now, because you do see a lot of videos and a lot of women now having like meltdowns that they can't find a man that cares about them or takes care of them and stuff. I don't think that's a good thing necessarily either. I think it's more a symptom of men actually slowly realizing that we actually do have autonomy and we can do whatever we want. Do you know what I'm saying? Actually, I was having this conversation with another girl, good friend of mine. Very, very attractive, gets any man she wants. And same thing, man, same thing. She was saying how if a man really loves a woman, he will take the risk of half of his assets. By the way, this same chick actually has taken half the assets of 2 men. Hey, oh my God, dude. The insane part about this one is when I questioned her on it, she truly, truly believes in the bottom of her heart that she is owed that money for her time. So why that's relevant? When it came time to breaking up with these so-called men that trusted her, right? She did what she wanted. She did, was just take half. She did what she wanted with no regard for the other human on the other end. And that's, as you go through your day-to-day life, my man, what I want you to do is I want you to start becoming conscious of the actions that you take every single day. Are they things that I want, or are they things that other people want me to do? You know what I'm saying? This girl, she wants to move in together. Do I want that, or does she want that? If I were to want that, how would that look like? This girl wants kids, she wants family, she wants marriage. She wants. Notice how they don't give a shit what you want, huh? Notice that. So actually, part of the conversation last night was part of that too. I was like, women, here's the funny thing. Women, and this is the craziest shit. This one she actually couldn't explain, but when you actually do what you want and not what other people want, you're actually more attractive to women. There you go. There's the bombshell of this video. So what I was explaining was, when you actually don't commit to women, you get the best version of them. Now, there is an expert, there's a pro and con to that. We'll save that for another video. The pros and cons of not committing. But when you don't commit, basically the crux of the entire thing is when both people, the man and the woman in the relationship, when they both know that either one of them can leave at any time with no repercussion, what does that incentivize? That incentivizes, don't get fat, care about me, be sweet to me, general respect for the other human, right? Because, and this goes back to the feeling of security, right? What she said, dude, this is so funny. What she said was, that sounds like a miserable existence. I'm like, why does that sound like a miserable existence? She's like, that sounds so stressful to have to live like that. Always thinking that my partner can leave. I'm like, why is that a bad thing? And then what I explained was, so if you know that I can leave at any moment because I want to, again, I want to do what I want to do, that means that you're never allowed to get fat, which is good for you too, by the way. You having to go to the gym every day and eat healthy is good for you. It's almost like in her mind, it was like, I just want to get fat and do nothing and feel secure. I want to be a blob of exist. Basically, women be like, I want to be a blob of existence that gets taken care of. Sorry, sister. That doesn't sound like what I want as a man. That doesn't sound like a good deal to me. It sounds like a good deal when you know that I can do whatever I want whenever I want. And then you'll stay in line. So if she cheats, you leave. If she gets fat, you leave. If she treats you like shit, or if she raises her voice at you, you leave. Basically, when you have the ability to do whatever you want, aka leave whenever you want, any negative behavior that that woman displays, you're, okay, I'm not gonna tolerate that, goodbye. When you do what other people want, societal pressure as well. When you do what other people want, aka get married with that contract, now all of a sudden, the government and that piece of paper, that 30-year mortgage, those kids that you had with her, all those invisible handcuffs that you don't see, they're now making decisions for you. She cheats on you. What are you gonna do about it? You already signed half your net worth away. You can't leave. She cheats on you. She treats you like shit. You're not allowed to leave. All these, like... So basically, what I wanted to say in this video, the conspiracy psyop part of it, it seems like to me, is society is structured in such a way to condition men in invisible handcuffs from the age of like 14 to 65 to just serve other people. And the conspiracy part of it is you can kind of like get out of the system up until you're like 25, 26, but like up until you like find a woman and have a mortgage payment and married and all that shit, right? And then by then the invisible handcuffs are too strong, you're fucked, right? But it's like you're not smart enough at that age to know what's going on. So you just, by the time you hit your mid 30s and you're finally aware, like men don't really, but let's be real, we're all dumbasses until we hit like 30 at least, right? Like we're boys, right? But it seems like by the time you actually gain the awareness to be like, this is not what I want anymore. What am I doing? Mortgage, kids, wife, handcuffs. It's like, so now you're faced with the option of, if I do what I want and leave, I am going to be punished for it for the rest of my life with alimony, with a destroyed home. My kids are gonna have a divorced parents now. It's like, and again, so those handcuffs that you have around your wrists now that were not your choice in the beginning. You didn't choose those handcuffs. Now you can't get out. Now you're not allowed to get out of them. Even if you're one of the guys that's smart enough to actually have awareness of it now, you're not allowed to get out of it. The world, when you're that far gone, the world can do whatever it wants to you, and there's nothing you can do about it. If you try to do anything about it, you will be punished. Here's the other crazy thing. Why are single men, or like why do single people not have the same tax benefits as married people? The entire religion, church, society, everything is telling you that we don't want you to do what you want. We want you to do what we want. Be wary of that shit, brothers. If you're a younger guy, snap out of that shit and start every single action you take. What do I want? Now, again, that's not to say that you can't do what other people want, but it should be your choice to do it. You shouldn't be coerced. You shouldn't have the invisible handcuffs placed upon you without your awareness. Don't be that guy. And then when you're 65, off yourself because you didn't know what the hell you were doing your entire life. Anyway, guys, a little bit of a different topic today. I hope you like this one. This one has been really bothering me for a while, for a few years now, once I've woken up to what the hell I want. Hopefully, with a video like this, I can make more guys wake up to what the hell they want. It's not a bad thing. How about we just be happy doing what we want, right? Hit the subscribe button if you like this type of video. Share it around with other guys that need to hear this shit. And I'll see you in the next one.